If you're Gen Z or Gen Alpha, stop scrolling. This might be one of the most important TikToks you see. Boomers, Gen X, Millennials, and everything in between, feel free to stay as well because this does apply to you. I want to thank Under the News for pointing this out first, so if you haven't gone to their TikTok page, make sure to check them out. I'm going to tag them in this video. Now, the reason why I specifically mentioned Gen Z and Gen Alpha is because you all were not around when 9/11 happened, and what came forth from it was something called the Patriot Act. Long story short, the Patriot Act was a bill that became law that had overwhelmingly bipartisan support, and it essentially gave the federal government the authority to spy on American citizens under the guise of protecting American citizens from terrorism. And that bill, or at least a lot of parts of it, was set to expire in 2005. However, it kept getting extended. And you can check out which parts were being extended on the Wikipedia page for the Patriot Act, which I invite you to go read. However, in 2020, the Patriot Act bill, at least a lot of parts of it, did expire, which brings us to the Restrict Act, known as Bill S.686. Now, the Restrict Act, Bill S.686, is one of two bills that are set to ban TikTok. However, the Bill 686 does so much more than just banning TikTok. So what does the Patriot Act have to do with Bill 686? Well, Bill 686 essentially reinstates the aspects of the Patriot Act that expired in 2020. And not only does it extend them, it actually expands upon them. Whereas the Patriot Act just allowed the federal government the simple act of spying on American citizens, this new bill allows the federal government to not only spy on American citizens' activities within their internet usage, it allows the federal government to cease that activity without a moment's notice. Now, just like Under the Desk News has said in their videos as well, there is no evidence and this is pure speculation. However, the timing on this is really coincidental. If you're interested in learning more about it, feel free to Google both bills, HR 1153 and Bill S686, known as the Restrict Act. Feel free to contact your congressmen, your senators, and let them know to vote no on both those bills. Meet the second bill to ban TikTok. It's known as HR 1153. Again, I encourage everyone to read the bill themselves. This one is much shorter than the other bill to ban TikTok, which is Bill S686, also known as the Restrict Act, and you can find this bill at this link. At face value, this bill sounds fine. It basically states that the purpose of this bill is to prevent foreign adversaries to interfere with our elections and to prevent them from providing American citizens with disinformation. However, there are some concerns and one major frustration that I have with this bill. Now, unlike Bill S686, this bill specifically names TikTok and its parent company ByteDance several times. And if you've checked out my original TikTok about the TikTok ban that talks about the history of it, you will know that the Trump administration tried doing just that, and two separate federal judges filed injunctions and ultimately ruled it unconstitutional. Starting on page 2, there is a quote by the director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, that states, quote, "We do have national security concerns about the app TikTok," end quote. This continues on page 4 with a quote by the director of the CIA, Bill Burns, that states, quote, "I think it's a genuine concern for the U.S. government in the sense that because the parent company of TikTok is a Chinese company, the Chinese government is able to insist upon extracting the private data of a lot of TikTok users in this country," end quote. The bill goes on to state on pages 6 and 7 that the main purpose of this bill is to prevent a foreign adversary to interfere with the United States or democratic emerging allies' elections. The allies part is very important, and we're going to talk about that in a second. On page 12, the bill specifically names China as the biggest threat and lists said threats as follows. Pause to read. Here's the problems with the bill and where a lot of the frustrations lie within TikTok. The bill makes a lot of claims about the potential threat that TikTok and its parent company ByteDance possesses to the United States and its citizens. The problem, and it's a reoccurring problem within the whole discussion on the ban of TikTok, is that there has never been any evidence to support any of the allegations. What's frustrating about this is we do have evidence about American company Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, selling our data to China. Furthermore, there are no bills specifically mentioning Meta selling our data to any foreign adversary, even though there is ample evidence that they have done so. The second frustration about this bill is on page 14, and in my opinion, this really undermines the entire point of this bill. On this page, it lists India as an ally to America and not a foreign adversary. Where this is troubling is within the last 2 weeks, we know India has formed allies with Russia and, more importantly, China. That allyship is known by the acronym BRICS, and I will cover that in a future TikTok. Therefore, this bill would not apply to the foreign adversaries that the bill itself previously defines, aka it's extremely hypocritical. Now, this bill in conjunction with Bill S686 both serve the purpose to fully ban TikTok and any other company company that is owned by its parent company, ByteDance. You can prevent this by contacting your reps and letting them know that if they vote in the affirmative for Bill HR 1153 and S.686, you will actively campaign for their opponent in the next primary. I have a whole separate TikTok on how to find your representatives in this playlist, so make sure to check it out. I will continue to cover this topic as more information is presented, so if you're interested, make sure to follow along. How we use the internet is about to fundamentally change forever, and it's terrifying. This is Bill S.686, also known as the Restrict Bill. You'll probably know it as the TikTok ban bill, but it does so much more than just that. It actually does more than any bill I think we've ever seen. I encourage everyone to read it by going here and clicking the text tab, but here are the main takeaways. Foreign adversaries can change by definition, but a few are already listed. They are the People's Republic of China, including Hong Kong, Special Administration Region, the Republic of Cuba, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and of course, the Russian Federation and Venezuela under the regime of Nicolas Maduro Moros. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but these definitions can change at any time. The bill covers hardware technology like modems, routers, and home cameras, and virtual tech like VPNs, and basically bans them if they are manufactured by or used to contact and deal with foreign adversaries. Speaking of VPNs, using VPNs to bypass banned apps such as TikTok is made a criminal act under this bill, and the penalty, it's a minimum imprisonment of 20 years and a minimum fine of $250,000 or $1 million, depending if you knowingly did so to access banned content. The bill gives the federal government the power to monitor any activity used by these suspected devices, virtual or otherwise. Essentially, they can monitor what you are doing at home 24/7 without even informing you. This includes things such as routers, video games, streaming apps, smart thermostats, Ring cameras, basically anything that uses the internet. Now, the real terrifying part of all of this, as if that all wasn't terrifying enough, is that the bill goes on to state that this will happen by the president appointing a secretary of communication. That secretary then forms a group on their own without any voter input whatsoever. This group can have meetings behind closed doors. They don't have to disclose anything. They can ban and deem anything inappropriate or a risk to security at any moment in time. And if they do, they can go through your instant messages, your emails, text, basically anything that uses the internet, and they can censor it. So in summary, this bill can effectively ban anything the government deems inappropriate extremely quickly without warning. The ramifications of this range from breaking up mass communication methods to even watching the cameras in your home, aka spying on you. It really is that bad, and I am not speaking in hyperbole. Please contact your reps. I have a video on my TikTok ban playlist on how to find your representatives and tell them if they vote for this, you will support their opponents in their next primary. If I missed anything in this bill, please let me know in the comments. Share this information with anyone and everyone. I will be covering this bill and the TikTok ban throughout, so to stay informed, please make sure to follow. Every single person on this app needs to contact their congressmen and their senators right now and tell them that if they continue to move forward with this, we will not vote for them in their primaries. I put a TikTok video about this yesterday on how to do so, a step-by-step guide. Go check it out. This is happening. The ban on TikTok looks to be moving forward at a 150% rate. Do something about it. It's up to us now. You have the power to stop this TikTok ban, and it's super simple, and I'm going to show you how to do it step by step. First, you're going to want to go to Google. Then type in, who is my congressman and senator? The and senator part is key. Then hit enter. It's going to give you a couple different options. We're looking for the congress.gov option, the one that says find your members in the U.S. Congress. Click that one. Next, you're going to have the option to enter your address or zip code. I recommend doing your address. It'll give you accurate data, but we're going to use a dummy zip code here for instructional purposes. Once it matches up, click it, and it's going to take you to another page with a map showing your district. Scroll all the way down, and it's going to show you who your senators and congressmen are. You are going to want to then hit the contact option for each one at a time. By doing so, it will take you to that individual's page of where you can contact them in various ways, shapes, and forms. Each one's a little different, so make sure you explore around with it. Now, here's what you're going to say to them. First, you're going to be super nice, and I mean like customer service level nice. You are going to tell them, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm a voter in your district, and I want you to know if you choose to vote to ban TikTok, I will spend the next primary actively campaigning for your opponent. Again, you're going to be very clear about this. You're going to be very nice about it, but you're going to be direct and let them know if they choose to ban TikTok, you will vote against them and campaign against them in their primary. Keyword there is primary. That's all you have to do. Write them, email them, call them, text them. Every option there is available, let them know that you are against the ban on TikTok. If enough people do this, they will listen. The ban on TikTok for American users grows more likely every day. What exactly is going on with it, and how did we even get here? In August 2020, then-President Donald Trump issued an executive order that would have banned TikTok from operating in the United States. The order cited national security concerns, and it gave TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, a Chinese-owned company, a deadline to sell the app's U.S. operations to an American company within 90 days. At the same time, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, saw TikTok as a threat to its own company's dominance in the social media space. So, his company funded a PR campaign called Project Victory that aimed to discredit TikTok and print it as a national security risk. The campaign included a website and a series of ads that ran on Facebook and Instagram. While that smear campaign was in full swing, ByteDance challenged Trump's executive order in court, arguing that the ban was unconstitutional and violated due process. In September 2020, a federal judge issued an injunction against the ban, blocking the Trump administration from enforcing the order. The judge cited the potential harm to TikTok's users and content creators, as well as the lack of evidence to support the national security concerns raised by the Trump administration. And then in December 2020, another federal judge issued a preliminary injunction against the TikTok ban, ruling that the Trump administration had overstepped its authority and acted arbitrarily. The judge also noted that the ban would have a significant impact on TikTok's business and its users' First Amendment rights. Now fast forward to today. The Biden administration has recently made significant moves regarding the proposed ban on TikTok. The administration withdrew the Trump-era executive orders that sought to ban TikTok specifically. Instead, the administration issued a new executive order that will conduct a broader review of apps with potential ties to foreign adversaries. The new executive order directs the Commerce Department to conduct a review of apps that may pose a national security risk, including those owned or controlled by a foreign adversary such as China. The review will evaluate the app's data collection practices and assess whether they pose a risk to U.S. national security or the privacy of American citizens. And this revitalized ban on TikTok looks to be extremely likely due to one big factor. The proposed ban now has bipartisan support, with both Democrats and Republicans expressing concern about the app's ties to China. ByteDance has proposed a middle ground solution in which it would spend $1.5 billion on a program that would safeguard U.S. user data, thus walling off TikTok's U.S. operations. Other solutions proposed included moving TikTok's data storage from China to the United States and have American company Oracle oversee the security of the data. However, President Biden quickly shot down these ideas and reaffirmed that the only way to avert the proposed ban is to outright sell TikTok. Interestingly, amidst the White House claim that TikTok proposes a national security risk, the White House itself continues to ask TikTok creators to make and post TikTok videos to bring attention to the White House. Because of this and the fact that Meta, Mark Zuckerberg's company, paid to smear TikTok and itself has sold U.S. user data to China in the past, several theories have arisen as to the real reason the U.S. wants to ban TikTok. First is the theory that TikTok is a threat due to its rapid, accurate, and nonpartisan news reporting capabilities. Recent metrics have stated that roughly 150 million Americans use TikTok for an average of 90 minutes per day, with many stating the app as its primary source for news. Second, because of these metrics, many theorize that TikTok has become too big of a threat for Meta and that U.S. congressmen have been paid off by Zuckerberg. However, even if this were to be the case, the recent movement of #DitchMeta would not solve Zuckerberg's problem, as many have started deleting their Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp accounts due to Zuckerberg's previously mentioned attempt at banning TikTok. Third theory is that TikTok has served as a rare resource for individuals of opposing opinions to come together and discuss their views. Some theorize that this union is in direct opposition for both political parties' best interests, and a ban on TikTok would cease this communication and keep voters of each political party as the enemy to the other. And finally, TikTok itself may indeed propose an actual threat. With the recent discovery of China's spy balloons above the United States, the US government just may be telling the truth and are simply trying to protect user data. But what do you make of all this? Is there one theory you believe over the other? And do you plan on continuing to use Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp? Let me know in the comments, and for more coverage on the TikTok ban as it develops, make sure to follow along.